So, Liam, another busy morning. I suppose it's unexpected, but will it do the thing that is its desired intent, which is to calm everything down?
Well, we'll see, won't we? I'm not convinced it will calm things down, to be honest. I think large sections of the Conservative Party in the country are going to go ballistic about this. They've rejected Jeremy Hunt many times. They don't want his kind of very centrist Remain voting, many of them would say, to pick at an old scab type of conservatism. They don't want a high-tax, high-spend country. I mean, what I'd say is just put this in context. I mean, obviously, we're going to be talking about the financial markets all day, but let's just put this in context. What did Kwasi Kwarteng and Liz Truss actually want to do? Now, this mini-budget was badly timed and the communication strategy was woeful. They threw far too many things at the country at once. But they were actually trying to lower the share of tax of our national income from the highest in 70 years back to where it was in 2021. This was not some kind of mad, stripped-down, ultra-right-wing budget by any means. Now, of course, it was politically tin-eared, as I said 1 second after I heard the announcement to lower the top rate of tax for the wealthiest 2% of earners, of course. But to raise corporation tax by 6%, that is going to hit the economy square between the eyeballs. That's going to hit a lot of small and medium-sized enterprises at a time when they're struggling to recover from COVID. So I do think we're seeing a bit of a coup going on. And I think when we look back, when historians look back, they'll think, even though the mini-budget was badly presented, the policies were badly handled, the policies themselves were pretty mainstream.
But you see, the interesting thing is, you talk about the markets in all of this. We're so reliant on the markets, aren't we? And it's been the market reaction which has caused the problems to all of this, however it was presented. Even with the news of this announcement today at 11 o'clock, we're getting, the guilt and all the rest of it are responding better. Slightly.
They're a bit better for now. Yeah. Let's see. Once you start to take on the markets, it's never enough. They'll always win. So it's almost a question as if you show weakness that they're just going to take more and more and more. And also, I know lots of people in the currency markets. It's what I used to do. I was financial analyst and wealth manager and so on. And they know that the British media is incredibly visceral when it wants to be. They know that the Conservative Party can be a ruthless sort of political killing machine, if you like, when it comes to regicide. And I think what happened here is and I've written this many times, once financial analysts saw that they'd made a really big sort of political mistake by lowering that top rate of tax, when so many people are worried about their bills, there was a real mismatch there between political reality and their sort of political fantasy. Then the markets thought, well, there's going to be a political scandal here. We can trade the currency short, so we can bet on it going down, and then the media goes bananas and you get into a kind of downward doom loop. But look, for people sitting at home in their cars, watching and listening to GB News, this is, of course, a worrying time. No one's saying that the Truss-Kwarteng duo has worked. Of course, it hasn't worked, and there are going to be big political changes. I think we're only seeing the start of them. But I wouldn't want to lose in this the fact that we were not going back to a sort of really low-tax economy. We were coming off a situation where taxes were as high as they'd ever been in the last 70 years, and now they're about to go higher. Interesting hearing some of the comments there. Robert Halfon, not seen widely as a troublemaker, chair of the Education Select Committee, saying yesterday that libertarian jihadists had taken over the Conservative Party and that the country was being treated like laboratory mice. And, those sorts of comments from senior Conservative MPs... He's an incredible constituency MP. He's MP for Harlow. I know how amazing he is on the ground. He's a hugely respected person. And he's not a troublemaker. But I do think that language is too strong if Robert, with all respect to him, looks at the actual policies. That is incendiary political rhetoric rather than, I would say, serious, reasoned, grown-up analysis. The serious, reasoned, grown-up analysis is that we're about to go from having a situation where corporation tax is pretty low in the G7 to being pretty high in the G7. You know, you can't. It's very hard to get an economy moving by taxing it more. We're going from a situation where taxes were very high across the board, and now they're going to be even higher. The reduction in national. And by the way, you know, again, Pat McFadden, everybody wants their political pound of flesh at the moment, but Labour have agreed. OK, so they've agreed with the lowering of the national insurance in the mini-budget, OK? They agreed with that. They agreed with the lowering of the 1p on income tax, even next year, let alone the year after. And they agreed with the energy price cap, right? I mean, there you've got like 90% of the mini-budget, and they fully agreed with it. And now they're calling for a reversal of the whole thing. And the other thing, the point to make here, and again, we must not lose sight of this, because lots of people at home are screaming at the television and radio, wanting people to make this point. This is happening across the world. Mortgage rates in this country are still lower than they are in the US. The average mortgage rate went from 2.5% to 3% in January to 5.5% in September, before the mini-budget. That's the trend. Now that they've accelerated a bit as a result of the mini-budget, and they may come off slightly if the markets decide they're going to move on and attack the Thai baht or another currency for a while as a plaything. So this is a long-term trend, because our entire political and media class has, for the last 10 years, just waved through and barely questioned ultra-low interest rates, massive money printing. That is now starting to unwind, and whoever was British Prime Minister at the time was going to have a difficult time when that started to happen. Well, now it's happening.
Yeah. OK. Liam, for now.
Thank you.